Hello, welcome back to the channel. We are doing yet another pod vlog. I know. I just like them, okay? Today we're going to be talking about my favorite topic, self-sabotage. We've talked about it before and we are going to talk about it again. I also talked about this in my weekly newsletter. It's called Manifestation Isn't Magic. It is the practical, hands-on, real tools to help you manifest your life of your dreams. If you want to subscribe, the link is in the description box. It comes out every single Wednesday and it is completely free. This week on the newsletter, we talked about self-sabotage, and it's something that I talk about a lot because I experience it and I deal with it quite a bit, and it's a big deal for a lot of my clients as well. Basically, thinking about self-sabotage, it's like you set a goal, there's something that you want to do, and then you can't seem to figure out how to do it. You can't seem to get yourself to get up and do the damn thing. In the newsletter, I described it like you have one foot on the gas and one foot on the brake, and you're trying to drive a car. You're not going to be getting anywhere, and you're going to be super frustrated and super irritated. And that's how self-sabotage makes me feel. And I know that's how self-sabotage makes a lot of my clients feel as well. But what really is self-sabotage? Like, what's the definition of it? Essentially, it's when we create obstacles and behaviors that prevent us from achieving our goals. And I want to note that it is the things that we create to prevent us from achieving our goals. I'm not talking about external factors. I'm not talking about systemic issues, which are very real. I'm talking about the ways in which we prevent ourselves from moving forward. So that can look like procrastination. It can look like perfectionism. It can look like self-doubt. It can look like negative self-talk or being highly critical. It can also look like picking fights with people for seemingly no reason. It can show up in a various amount of different ways, but the effect is still the same, right? It sabotages something that we wanted for ourselves. And for me, one of the things that really kicks off my self-sabotage, and when I know oh, you're going down that line, girl, is when I start thinking, I can't do this. I start doubting myself. I start having this kind of negative internal self-talk towards the goals that I've set for myself. So most of the time I set pretty unrealistic goals, pretty lofty goals. And then as I look towards them, all I'm flooded with is, oh my God, there's no way I can do this. There's no way this is going to happen for me. And self-doubt tends to take over. And that starts before I even get started on trying to work towards the goal. Like before I even take the first step, I'm in my mind telling myself there's no way. And then ultimately I would get to the end. I either would do it and not do it well, or I wouldn't do it at all. And all I would have to say to myself is, see, I told you so. I was essentially just affirming the doubt that I had at the beginning, and the cycle continued. So that just caused me to feel really, really disappointed and hurt and sad and just let down. And it always made me feel like, what the heck is going on? I'm setting these goals that I want, but I'm working my way out of them. That's self-sabotage. And so you may think like, oh, that's pretty bad. That's terrible. And it is. But there's another way to look at it, and I'm calling it the self-sabotage rebrand. And it's the idea that self-sabotage is actually just self-protection. It's a way of self-preservation. So when you think about going towards these new lofty goals or having something new, it's exciting. It's very interesting, right? Like you have the hope and the desire for it, but there's also the other side. The doubt, the worry, the fear, right? Like, oh no, am I going to be able to do this? What's life going to look like? Will I fail? Will I succeed? Am I afraid of success? Am I just afraid of change? All of those things can come up, and those things make us very uncomfortable. And we all have a varying level of, comfortability with new things and change and failure and all of that. But that level of comfort directly impacts our actions. So if you're feeling scared about a goal, like let's say you have a goal to get a new job, and while you do want that new job, you're terrified of interviewing, of having to send your resume out there, of having to put yourself out there. What you'll do is you'll stop yourself from doing that. Why? Because you're trying to avoid those negative feelings. You don't want to feel fear. You don't want to feel scared. So instead of starting writing on your resume or hiring somebody to help you, you just put it off. You tuck it off into the back corner and you're like, nope, I don't think I want to do that. I'm a little too scared. And a lot of the times this is going on subconsciously. So you're not actively telling yourself, yeah, I'm scared, so I'm not going to do it. You just avoid it. You find yourself procrastinating and avoiding things like, didn't I say I wanted to do that thing? Why am I not doing it? Right? That was my favorite thing to do. I would procrastinate until the end of the earth, okay? And that was because I was deathly afraid of failing. So I decided that not trying at all was better than trying and failing. It was like a catch-22. I was damned if I do, I damned if I don't. It was terrible. But that's exactly how I felt. So I like to think of this quote that I hear all the time, and it's that life happens on the other side of your comfort zone. Okay. So imagine self-sabotage as a wall standing between you and the life that you want. On the other side of the wall is this dream life, or it's the goal, or it's the big thing that you've been wishing and wanting for. But in front of that is a wall, or a mountain, or a rushing stream of water that's in between you and where that thing is, right? That other side of the wall is the unknown. That other side of the wall is nothing we've ever seen before. And because of that, we're afraid. So this wall, this Great Wall of China, protects us, and we maintain it with fear. It is built up to protect us from whatever is on the other side of this wall, because whatever is on the other side of the wall is scary. So how do you overcome self-sabotage? Okay. The first step, the most important step, and I think the hardest step, is to just recognize and acknowledge when you are engaging in self-sabotaging behaviors. You have to have awareness. If you find yourself avoiding something or procrastinating or being overly critical about something, ask yourself, why am I doing this? What's going on? Do I know what I need to do, but I can't get myself to do it? What am I feeling here? Am I overwhelmed? Do I have any fear of success or change associated to this thing? Am I worried about being embarrassed? What's going on? And once you identify it, the next thing that you can do is just start to address it, right? Acknowledge it, validate those feelings and say, yes, it is scary. It is unknown. I might fail, but I could also do this. You're essentially just doing a balancing act. Should I continue to protect my feelings and continue to make sure that I feel safe? Or do I maybe take a bit of a step and work towards my goal? Which one is more important right now? And sometimes when you're honest with yourself, you will choose your feelings. You will say, you know what, I'm uncomfortable, but that's completely okay. Be realistic about it. Be intentional about it. That's all that matters. So when it comes to like the day-to-day of this, the way that I do this is one, through breathing exercises. In the moment, I'm very good at recognizing the feelings that I have and realizing, oh, you're starting to feel a little anxious. You're starting to feel a little overwhelmed at this. Calm down, take a break, do some breathing exercises. I also do a lot of self-check-ins. I journal, I check in with myself and ask, how are you feeling? How is it going? I also sometimes step away. Sometimes taking a break is the answer. Don't think about it for a while. Pretend it's not there, and then come back to it with a fresh mind. And the last thing I like to do is visualization. I will lay down and daydream about what's on the other side of that wall. What in an ideal world would be over there, and how can I just get my brain used to seeing it, feeling it, thinking about it, and eventually making it real. So that's all about self-sabotage. I have been working through my own and helping clients work through theirs for the past 4 years, and I've definitely seen huge changes in my life since doing it. I have become so much more confident, so much more trusting of myself, and honestly just more accomplished because I'm actually doing the things that I set out to do. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you all in my next video. Bye.